And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from the Twin Star, well, not the Twin Star, but Twin Star Azog. Or Ava Azog. Like Azog of the Defiler. And you asked the question, who would win a fight? Smaug from the Hobbit series. And the book and the movies. Versus Lucy from Elfen Lied. Okay. I think it's kind of obvious who the winner is, but let's go through this because I do want to address some things about the characters. So obviously Smaug was the last great fire drake, as they said. He was also the smallest because the dragons kept getting smaller as time went on. But he was still huge. Like Smaug is massive in size. He's at least like two. How big is Smaug? That's a question I think we should really address right now. How big is Smaug? Smaug in the movie. Okay, so Smaug, roughly speaking, is about 20 meters or 66 feet high. Bullshit, he's that small. He's clearly bigger than that. But for cinematic effect in the movie... Oh, wait, hold on. In the Atlas of the Middle-earth, but for cinematic effect in the movies, he's dramatically increased in size. His size in the original... His size in the original designs is mentioned to be around 130 meters, which is bigger than 2 jumbo jets. Yeah, that sounds about right. Still, 66 feet is pretty big. And obviously, we're using the movie version of Smaug because that's the one people remember. And in theory, he has all the abilities of the original, just kind of heightened to a bigger scale. But as a dragon, he is, first off, he's evil, basically. But he's also very intelligent, very sophisticated in his dialect and speech, capable of breathing intense amount of fire, which is capable of just incinerating people, enough to light a cold furnace for an entire mining mountain up on just like that. He can raise a town to ashes, honestly, within minutes. As he puts it, his sword, my teeth are blades, my claws swords, my wings are a hurricane. None compares to me. Now, what I want to address here is how durable Smaug may or may not actually be. We know that the black arrows ultimately was what brought him down because it loosened one scale. But it took a lot of effort to do that, and because no other weapon was able to pierce his hide in Middle-earth. So, in theory, he could survive like a bomb being dropped on him, more than likely. So the question really is just how durable is Smaug? My guess is he probably could not tank something like a nuke. But like heavy, like legitimate explosives, like a straight missile hitting him, probably wouldn't kill him. It might injure him, but it would not kill him. So I think you'd have to put him. He's not, in terms of durability levels. Let's see here. A nuke can level an entire city, no problem. He's not city level in terms of his durability. At least not major. At least not large city. I'd say he's more akin to something like the durability of a couple blocks. So he could probably handle a couple megatons, no problem, to the face. Lucy is not obviously human. Lucy, is it called a Dionysus? Lucy Elfen Lied. Hold on. Lucy Elfen Lied. What is the damn name of her species? Okay. Diclonius. As the queen, and she's apparently the so-called Queen Diclonius. Now, I believe they're called her vectors. Is that right? The names of her invisible arms. As a non-human, she is obviously more durable than say your average human. But she is still subject to death and dying if enough damage dealt her. Her horns on her head are actually a particular weakness of hers that she needs to cover. They're damaged. She can actually be in a lot of serious trouble. But yeah, her obvious main method of attack is her, again, I believe they're called her vectors, right? Let's see, powers and abilities. Ability to project telekinesis, generate invisible arms, which you can use to manipulate objects. Ability to infect human males with a virus that causes their children to be born. Diclonius, whatever. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find the list of her actual abilities here. Anyway, I'm really just the name. I believe they're called her vectors, if I'm not mistaken. Point being, she can summon God knows how many of them that cannot be seen by any normal spectrum of sight. Sensing it, a different vision of the spectrum of sight, sure, but Smaug I doubt would be able to do that. Although he could sense Bilbo even with the magic ring masking his presence. So it actually could be theorized he could at least sense the vectors. He couldn't see them, but he could sense them, in theory. Those things are immensely durable, capable of just tearing and ripping people apart, and delivering enough power to basically annihilate an entire island, which is a serious blast of energy. So, who wins in this fight? Well, I initially said it was pretty obvious, but having said that, I mean, do I think that Lucy can deliver, if she delivered all of her power at once, a strong enough blow to ultimately kill Smaug? Oh, yeah. Do I think she'd do that from the get? No, I don't think she would, because that's a lot of energy she has to expel to do that. Smaug, meanwhile, would just see this girl's like, human. Now, I can't do it with Benedict Cumberbatch Smaug was human trash, and just and tries to incinerate her. Her vectors would protect her, I think, from the fire. I think that's sorry. Smaug is like, interesting. You have some sort of magic, I see. And then she tries to actually just rip Smaug apart, but I think Smaug is too large of an animal to just do it in one go, and too durable to just chop in half like she does with normal people. Instead, she hits him, and he feels her grab him, and she's actually trying to move him, and he's moving a little bit, but he fights back. Just swings her off the ground. She's surprised, but catches herself with her vectors. She now tries multiple times to hit him with her vectors, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. He's like hitting, blast her away with a gust of wind. He just tried to incinerate her again. Doesn't really do anything. Again, she blocks it, although she can still feel the heat. I have no doubt about that. She's just not being hit by the actual flames. Now she's taking this now she knows she actually has to really pull out the stops. Smaug grabs her, and she's able to keep his hand somewhat open with her vectors. And he's just trying to crush her. I think it takes some legitimate effort on her part to keep herself from being crushed by this guy. However, when it is all said and done, in terms of the amount of firepower both these two are able to dish out, no pun intended on Smaug's part, I do ultimately think at the end of the day, it's still Lucy that wins. I do think Smaug gives her a tougher fight, though, than something she's used to. Again, it really is all dependent on how durable you think you want to make Smaug. Do I think he can withstand a nuke? No. Do I think he can withstand explosions to the face and to the body, like from a standard missile? Yeah, I think he could stand a missile assault. Now, let me say, multiple missiles over a prolonged battle? No, I don't think he could survive that. But generally, yeah, I think you could survive that. So it would take her putting a lot of effort in to take him down, but I do ultimately think her vectors provide both a good offense and defense enough that she would survive an encounter with Smaug. So ultimately, my money would go on Lucy, but I could still see some scenarios where Smaug won. Like if he just overwhelmed her with fire and she just could not compete, and he just kept up the flames and she just could not compete with the amount of heat she was dealing with, and ultimately was incinerated, I could see that happening. Her horns may be getting singed, and it possibly, causing her to fight. Could see that happening as well. So scenarios where Smaug can win, they exist. Likely, I don't think so. I think it is Lucy. What do you think? You think it's Lucy or you think Smaug? Put in the comments below and let me know. But until then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Put your comments down below for the things you want us to talk about on the channel. All the things I do in the channel, be it who would wins, what ifs, Atlantic Corp videos, Pokemon team videos, Magic, Star Wars, superheroes, the works. And hit that bell if you want notifications. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time, folks. Tomorrow is just going to be the Atlantic Corp video. So later.